Welcome, everyone, to episode 27. It is hard to believe that we're here, but it feels like it was just yesterday that we started this. And I'm excited to say that we spent a lot of time getting this thing perfected, and it feels close to being perfect. We've got a lot of different things that nobody else is doing out there. We've got a lot of cool things planned ahead as well, and so that's what I want to talk about. Is really kind of moving into the next stage of this is where we think we can go and the things we can do to improve and grow the audience. And one of the things I thought we'd do is to take a moment and reflect a little bit about why we're all here. For me, I'm here because I think this is the greatest skill of all. If there's anything that is more important to trying to get the things we want in life, whatever it is that we want in life, the most important skill of all is to be able to express those desires, to be able to tell people why we want those things, and ultimately enlist their help in getting those things. And so this, for me, is the most important thing that we could be doing. And it's no small surprise that the reason why it is so difficult and so powerful is because it is the most common fear. It's the thing we all dread doing. And that's why I want to go back and talk about the genesis of Toastmasters and how it started and why we're here and what we're doing going forward. We're going to go back to our roots. And those roots are in Toastmasters, the name Toastmasters. So for those of you who don't know, Toastmasters was started by a fellow by the name of Ralph Smedley. And this started back in 1905. So Toastmasters, as an organization, as a way of doing things, is over 100 years old. And it started with the idea of public speaking, teaching public speaking. Now, the thing about teaching public speaking that prior to 1905 that was different is that if you said, I wanted to teach you how to speak publicly, people would look at you and go, what are you talking about? Everyone speaks publicly. We're all doing it all the time. It's kind of like if you imagine, for those of you who are academics, if you ever took a philosophy class or a psychology class, where when you were taking those classes today, you think nothing of it. You think, oh, yeah, of course, there's all kinds of different psychology classes out there. There's all kinds of different things you can learn about how we think and what we do. But that wasn't always the case. Prior to having philosophy classes out there, the question would always be, why would I need a philosophy or psychology class? That's just who we are. Can't teach that. And then someone came along and said, no, you can teach that, and now we have a whole branch of psychology and philosophy classes meant to teach those things. Ralph Smedley and Toastmasters was the equivalent to the first group of people that said, we're going to teach people how to speak publicly. Prior to that, again, it was just not something you did. So in 1905, when they started this idea, it was the first group of people that said, let's get around a table and practice public speaking. And what people don't realize is that that grew into, today, what is the multi-billion-dollar self-help industry. All this stuff that you hear of today, which is the things we're doing on camera, in person, in Toastmasters, all that stuff was started 100 years ago by the guy named Ralph Smedley, who is the founder of Toastmasters. And so he's the guy I want to toast tonight. And that's the idea of where we're moving forward, is that next open house, if you invite a friend, we're asking you to toast them, to let them know why they're appreciated, to highlight their appearance, and then to give them a toast that we can all give them a round of applause and say thank you for coming. And these speeches are meant to be 2 minutes in length, just like those speeches that we give in table topics. And so that's what I want to do with Ralph Smedley tonight, is to toast Ralph Smedley. As I said, Ralph Smedley started Toastmasters in 1905, and you'll see his picture there. And the thing that most people don't realize with Ralph Smedley is that for those of you who like Dale Carnegie, and his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, who, by the way, that's the title of Linda's speech tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. But the point is that Dale Carnegie and his success in creating his empire was all due to Ralph Smedley. Dale Carnegie's conferences and training sessions were all basically based upon Toastmasters sessions, which is what we're doing today. So if you go to a Dale Carnegie session and you pay thousands of dollars to go to one of those sessions, you're essentially getting the same thing that you get here. And that's all due to Ralph Smedley, as I said. So the thing that people don't appreciate is the self-help industry people attribute to Dale Carnegie, but it's really Ralph Smedley that did it all. And so the thing I also wanted to do is to point out for you all that the reason we're here is they used to all give toasts. So I'm toasting Ralph Smedley tonight. You'll also see some of the information that I put up about Ralph Smedley. So when you give your toast, this is the same stuff we're going to ask you to write about the person you're toasting, so that when you toast, they'll see all this information come up on screen. Now, I'm having to do it with Ralph Smedley, who's passed away, but you can do this for anybody. You can do this for your friend. You can do this for a colleague. You can do this for your family member. And I really hope some people do it for their family members, because I really want to see some toasting where you're really giving some genuine, heartfelt thanks to some family members. I think we get some really compelling videos and speeches from that. So that's the idea. And Sean is going to put a link in the chat that is the profile to fill out. So if you have anybody that you want to bring to the open house and toast, click the link and fill out the form, and that's where we're going to get all the information for these toastees, as we call them. So Sean, if you wouldn't mind putting that link in there. And that's the plan. So we're in this new phase where one of the curriculum speeches that we're going to add is a toasting curriculum. So find somebody that you want to say some nice things about and bring them to a meeting, give them a toast, and that will be part of our curriculum going forward. With that said, let me also share one other thing. Rob has kindly offered to help us out, and he's in fact joined our leadership team. By the way, if anybody else is interested in joining our leadership team, please let us know. But Rob's kindly agreed to do that, and he's put together an invitation for next week. That's on the social media link as well. So if anybody wants to use that invitation in their emails or to their friends, feel free. Rob's done a great job. He's actually going to make it a little nicer too, so we'll have that available for you guys to use in any emails or things you want to post as well. All right, so that's my toast of Ralph Smedley. Oh, one other thing I almost forgot. Typically when you toast, you ask people to raise a glass and say, cheers. Since we can't do that here, we're asking everyone, if you do a toast, to ask the audience to do something besides raising a glass. So for Ralph Smedley, I'm going to ask everybody, and as a toast to Ralph Smedley, that every time that you meet somebody that's a stranger, that you don't know, and you say something nice, think of Ralph Smedley and think of Toastmasters, because that's really the power of this place. If you get comfortable with public speaking, you get comfortable with talking to strangers. You get comfortable talking with anybody that's out there, and that's the key to the skill. Is if you get to a place where you not only enjoy talking to strangers, but are somebody that is inspiring and persuasive to strangers, then you can have anything you want. And that's the power of Ralph Smedley and Dale Carnegie. They are both hugely influential and hugely successful because they become very good speakers by doing this. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm toasting Ralph Smedley. So every time you meet a stranger and say hello, think of Ralph Smedley. Cheers. All right, with that said, let's get ourselves into the regular portion of our show. We've got one speaker tonight, Linda, and then we've got a table topic. So hopefully those of you all who have signed up or haven't signed up will sign up in table topics, and we'll get a full slot there. But let's get this thing going with Linda as our first speaker. So Linda's speech tonight is the book title for Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm very intrigued about this. Linda, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you this evening?
Linda, I'm very good. Good to see you.
Great.
So you are progressing through our speeches really quickly. You're on our third speech, which I've told everyone as in the past. It's the get to the point speech, right?
Yes.
And the get to the point speech is the third speech because the second speech is organizer speech. It's the roadmap, and the third speech is the destination. And so for this speech, what we're always looking for is what I call the punch line. The one thing that you want the audience to remember after the speech. And so that's what we should be looking for as an audience as we give Linda our evaluations after a speech. But the third speech is really the idea that says, why am I saying all these things? Why are we listening? And the reason we're listening is this, the punchline. Okay? So before I let you get started, the title of your speech is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Why did you choose that title, or am I going to spoil it if I ask you that question?
Um, you know what? I would like for you people afterwards to tell me what you think, why I chose that title.
All right, that sounds good. We'll leave it as a surprise then.
Yes.
As usual, you've got 4 minutes on the clock. I'll let you take it away.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Did you know that your social intelligence ability has determining factors in terms of the peace and happiness and success in your life? How is that, you ask? Well, winning friends and influencing people are the keys to your peace, your happiness, and your success. And you must have the skill. And that skill is social intelligence. There are three important elements that I feel is needed to be skillful at developing healthy relationships. One's called social facility, knowing your social trigger, and social awareness. Social facility is how you interact with people. It's the vibe you give off during your interactions. Um, the I spoke about during the first speech that I gave about traumatic experiences that you have when you're a child and how that stays in your unconscious. And so you have to understand and know what those social triggers are because they come out a lot of times in the social situations. One must be aware of that because it can negatively impact upon your ability to become a social butterfly. The third actually is social awareness, right? Which is having empathy and having a receptive listening ear and the understanding of the nuances of the social world and relationships. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed right now, well, don't fret, because there is a possible solution that can make all of us social butterflies. It's called Nuchi. Nuchi is called in English is I measure. And Nuchi is part of a Korean culture. And most of the children's education and career is around developing the children to have quick Nuchi. Nuchi is a subtle art of gauging other people's thoughts and feelings and building trust and harmony and connections with them. We call it here in the United States having the ability to read the room. But Nuchi is not only in reading the room, but the entire environment. To Nuchi, you will use your eyes and your ears and a quiet mind to read the room and perceive verbal and nonverbal cues, the room's ambiance and its culture, interactions, and the other interactions in the room. Well, let's see if you have a quick Nuchi. Say you have started a job and you're invited to a party where you want to make a good impression. When you walk into the room, everyone is laughing a bit too hard and not a particularly funny joke of an older woman you have never seen before. So what would you do? A, step in with a really funny joke you know your colleagues would love. B, laugh along with the others even though it's not amusing. C, find a tactful moment to introduce yourself to the older woman who you've assumed is the head of the company. So, which one would you do? If you chose B, laugh along with the others, even though it's not amusing, then you have Nucci. Many of us create social disasters because we have not honed on our skills. Well, here's a few things that we can do right now to practice Nucci. One, we can empty our minds, losing our preconceptions, and observe with discernment. Two, look at people's body language to understand what is happening, right? Um, and three, we can figure out what is not being said rather than what's being said. Four is to follow our gut instinct. And five, never pass up an opportunity to quiet our minds by being silent. So, hey, if you feel uncomfortable about social settings such as myself, I invite you to come along with me on a journey of gaining happiness, peace, and success by practicing the power of Nucci. I know the butterflies out there, you're saying, hey, I want to come with you too. So I'm inviting the butterflies to come, but as our mentors and our coaches. We can even use our time on New Voice Live to practice together, our new secret weapon. And so to make friends and influence people, we have to be a little rambunctious and go forward.
Linda, great job on that speech. Um, I got to tell you, the first time you came, and we talked about this a little earlier in the pre-show. Um, I'm not sure what you thought you were getting yourself into. I don't think you probably knew either. But after that speech, the difference between your first speech and this speech are night and day. So I want to compliment you on just the huge progress that you've made. But more importantly, I think it just kind of being more comfortable with us and yourself. And to your point, that Nucci in there is just about getting comfortable with people, I think. So great job on the speech. Loved it. And we're going to get Alex here to do your formal evaluation. So in the meantime, let's get everybody to do their evaluation for you. So let's get the feedback going, Sean, if you wouldn't mind. In the link, Sean's going to pass on the evaluation for everybody. And then, Linda, you'll get your private evaluation for yourself. And we'll do that through the 2 minutes of Luther Vandross. All right, welcome back, everyone. We have our evaluator tonight, our philosopher and longtime friend, Alex, who's going to be doing his evaluation of Linda's speech. So let's get Alex on the screen. Alex, are you there? I think we may have you on mute.
Yes.
There
Here
we
I
go.
am. Here I am.
How are you, my
Wow.
old friend?
I'm hanging in happily and healthfully. Thank you so much. And
Good
how are
to
you?
hear. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'm doing good. So I'm going to let you give Linda your evaluation. I know she's in good hands. You are a longtime Toastmaster, an eloquent speaker. So I'll let you take it away. As usual, you've got 3 minutes on the clock.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm also a rambunctious rapscallion, I understand, but that's okay. Well, Linda, they said get to the point, and you sure did. You knocked it out of the park. If that was sandlot baseball, you knocked it over the fence. So congratulations, number one.
Thank you.
I really, really loved the speech, and I find it very interesting because I too am influenced by Dale Carnegie and other writers and thinkers about rhetoric and communication. And I liked that you did get to the point. A slight improvement, because you talked about Nucci. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but if you perhaps said how to win friends and influence people with Nucci, well, then maybe that also would have been wow, because I think people would pay top dollar to see a speech of you and a TED Talk saying get to the point or whatever with Nucci, because what the heck is Nucci? I had no clue, but the hallmark of a great speech is that you taught us, right? Excuse me. You took us from a point where, yeah, ho-hum, how to win friends and influence people. Well, that, sure, because that's been said before since the 1930s. But you took it and you brought it up to the 1920s, the 2020s, whatever year we're in, and you've taken it and you've added this twist to it. And that is the mark of mastery. That's the mark of art. So I heard compelling speaking. I heard this whole notion of Nucci and mindfulness. And that's essentially my take on what it is. It's mindfulness or compassion or many other things where you listen with the ears and the eyes of your heart and your mind so that you can win friends and influence people. And it's less than winning friends and influencing people. It's that by means of this, the friends and everyone comes to you. It's like this attraction. So congratulations there. So what I felt a great comfort. Felt interested. I felt that you made some good points. I like the fact that you did the 1, 2, 3, very logical. And to improve, what I would suggest for slight improvements are the screen placement, right? And in terms of the delivery, a slower speech, an enunciation, because when you speak a little bit more slowly and you enunciate, people are going to feel less rambunctious about what they're hearing. They're going to hear Linda enunciating and speaking so wonderfully well. And kudos to you. Thank you so much. Back to him.
Thank you.
Alex, great job on that. Much appreciated, and as always, great advice. So with that said, we've got our formal speech out of the way. Let us get back to our table topics. And before we do that, we've got our question of the day that we ask all table topics people to answer. What weird quirk did you pick up from your parents? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think I probably picked up the quirk of wanting to be a good public speaker. All right, with that said, let me get us back reset, and we'll get to table topics. Okay, so welcome back. We've got, looks like a couple spots left, so anybody wants to sign up for table topics, feel free. Sean, I think Sean's put the link in there one more time. With that said, let me get this turned over to our table topics master of the evening, and that's going to be Bhavika. Bhavika, are you there?
Hi, yes, I am.
Oh, there you are. Good to see you, Bhavika.
You too.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I love your question. I got to tell you, though, as I said, I'd rather be right now any place other than New York. It's pretty tough here in New York. This quarantine thing, after 27 weeks or so plus, it's not been easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are itching to travel or at least get out of the city if they're here right now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, well, I'll let you take it away with table topics. Why don't you give everybody a brief explanation of your question and restate all that stuff and give everyone the rules. And by the way, I'm not sure if our guest is still here, but the guests are always welcome to sign up for table topics as well. So we still got a couple spots left, so sign up, folks. All right, so Bhavika, take it away.
Thank you. So our question of the day, or our table topic for the day, is if you could live in another city or country for 1 month, where would you go and why? And our word of the day is rambunctious. Just as a reminder for everybody that's participating, you'll have 2 minutes to answer the prompt, and then at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you'll start hearing the exit music. And then at the end, everybody will have a chance to vote and pick who they think is their best table topic speaker for the night. And with that, let's get started. Our first participant or speaker is Rob. Rob, are you there?
I am. Hi, Bhavika.
All right. Hi, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I will hand it over to you to answer our question, which is if you could live in another city or country for 1 month, where would you go and why?
Thank you. Thank you, Bhavika. It's a great question, especially now and living in New York City. To Henry's point, you hear these stories of people in droves just leaving New York City and trying to get out of here. And I am the exact opposite. I want to stay in New York City. It's a safe place for me in Brooklyn. And I love the city, the culture, all of the things here. Just recently, they started opening up the museums. So we went to the Whitney the other day with my kids, and it's been really nice to have some of those things start to open up, and some of the outdoor dining has been another aspect that's been wonderful. So definitely I'm a city person. And if I did have to pick another city to go to, my first city that I thought of was Tokyo. I love Tokyo from a design perspective and all the like wonderful nuances of Tokyo. However, I have 2 little rambunctious kids, and I don't think Tokyo would be ready for them. So I thought again of another city that has that creative culture and food and those other aspects that I love about New York. And I just love the city of Paris. And both of my kids have visited Paris, and my wife and I love it. And I could see being there for a month. And it's a very kid-friendly city, I have to say. Like, we didn't think it would be, and we've gone back many times, and the kids love it. There's playgrounds everywhere. It's very family-oriented, so it's definitely great for that. Although I'll leave you guys with a funny story about Paris. I was almost got a ticket from these police officers for bringing a stroller into the subway or the metro in Paris. And it was this huge, crazy situation, but I may not be allowed to go back to Paris because I don't know if I ever paid that ticket. Anyway, on that one, thank you so much, Bhavika.
That's great to hear, and it's always good to hear that somebody just loves staying in New York City, and enjoys all the perks that the city has to offer. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Alex. Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Excellent, excellent.
All right. I will hand it over to you.
Massalam alaikum. Nangada samakare. These are some words in a language called Wolof. Wolof is the language of Senegal, and the capital city of Senegal is Dakar. And I would love to spend a month in Senegal. I would love to spend my time for a little while in Dakar. Strange, I know, but the Senegalese culture, I believe it's among the some of the kindest, most compassionate people in the world. It's a little part in Western Africa. It's absolutely beautiful, temperate, beaches, culture, the food. I'd also get to practice a little bit more of my Wolof. I could say more than Assalamu alaikum and Nangadef. I'd be able to order my food and other things in this beautiful, fascinating language that many people speak there. What else would I do when I was there? Well, I'd just walk around. I would enjoy myself. I would see what the people are doing and appreciate what the people are doing. Because the only way, and this is taking away from Linda's speech about Nuchi, I try to develop a little bit more of my Nuchi, you know? I'd be a little bit more mindful. I certainly need to slather myself in all kinds of cream, and because when I went to Venezuela once, I couldn't go out until like midnight because after the sun was way down, because otherwise I would melt. I kind of look like the melting guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Ooh, anyway, and through being rambunctious, and I want to thank you, and I want to send it back to you, Bhavika. Jedi Jeff.
That was great. I honestly haven't heard of that little city or town, but I know that Africa has a lot to offer, and that is definitely one of the places that's on my bucket list. So I hope one day you get to go there. Up next, we have Linda. Hi, Linda. You're on
Hi.
mute. Oh.
Sorry.
Hi. How are
Hi,
you? I'm
fine.
good. I'm good.
Great.
All right. So question today, just as a reminder, is if you could live in another city or country for 1 month, where would you go and why?
Well, the place that, thanks you for the question. I haven't thought about vacationing in a very long time, going anywhere. And the place that I would go, I haven't been in a very long time, and it's probably the only place that for vacation that I've gone more than once, and it's Hawaii. And the reason why I love Hawaii is because, first of all, as everyone knows, to me, it's magical, right? It's beautiful there. The whole place to me, the whole tone of the place is very calming. They have something what they call hang loose, and there's a sign that goes like this, being hang loose, and that is actually the feel that you have, that you hanging loose. And so I like that a lot. The other thing that I really like about Hawaii is the sunset. I find it to be the most romantic sunset I've ever seen. And I had taken a picture, a panoramic view of the sunset there. In some kind of way, I misplaced that. I cannot find that, and I definitely have to go back just to take that sunset. The second is the water. I really don't like to get into water or beaches, but I love the beaches in Hawaii. Well, that's the other place. And lastly, I like the Polynesian Center because it really tells us about the culture there, and I like the way that they give us our meals. It's a very communal feel, It's like you're with your family, even if you're not. It's that as Alex has said, what I mentioned, the Nuchi, that's definitely a place you can practice that. But the very last thing, and for you ladies who ever been there, right, who've been to the Polynesian Center, the most important thing that I think I like about Hawaii is the male Polynesian dancers, right? They're very, very tasty eye candy. So that is why I stayed there for not even a month, but a year. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I really do hope that you get to go back and get another picture of the sunset. That's a shame that you lost that picture, but I'm sure you'll be able to go there in no time. And up next is Eula. Hi, Eula. Are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Great. All right. I will hand it over to you.
Okay. What country would I live in for a month and why? I'm an eclectic person. Therefore, I have two places in mind. I think I would split 50-50. I would stay in Cambodia for at least 6 months. And it's because of their history, their laid back mentality, their resilience, the culture, and their food. I love the calmness there. But my second choice, which is neck and neck, is a town called Lyra in Copenhagen, in Denmark. In Lyra, that town is an original Viking town, original cemetery built in the form of a ship, gigantic stones. The town is quaint. You have everything you needed there: sheep, cows, goats, fresh raspberries, fresh apples. The trees are maybe 6 feet tall, and it's just a spread. Beautiful flowers. But what really reeled me in was what their favorite meal is. It's called the poor man's meal. What is it? It's stuffed lamb that's stuffed with pistachio nuts. You have lamb sausage, you have black seed bread, you have something that they refer to as gluck, which is a mixture of different fruits that's steeped in wine. And the smell, the black seed bread, oh my goodness, it's something you can enjoy daily. That's my choice, and that's what I would stick with. I would go to Lyra in Denmark, to the original Viking town.
I think you just made my mouth water from just hearing that. That was a very descriptive explanation of what it's like there and the good food that you can get there. Thank you. All right, next up is Asantie. Hi, Asantie.
Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, and
Good.
I will let you take it away.
Sure. If I could go to one country for a month, it would be Guyana. Well, my mom is originally from there. She was born there before she moved to Barbados, where I'm from. and I've never been there. At 23, I haven't been there yet, and I've been meaning to go to meet family that I haven't met yet, and just to see where she lived and where she comes from. I think that'll be a really good experience for me and my sister, and I would love to experience that with them. And the food, of course. A month I might gain some weight, but I think it's a small price to pay. The food is so, so, so good. I would love to be there for an extended period of time just to eat. And if I had to choose one month in particular, I would choose May because Guyana has a carnival in May. And I would like to be there for that. It sounds a lot of fun to experience that. Maybe some rambunctious behavior, but I think it'll be okay. So for those experiences, I would love to go to Guyana for a month and have a good time there.
That's awesome. I think it's very important to always go to hear their stories, and that would be such a great place to go back. So I hope you get to go there. Thank you. And next up, we have Jorge. Hi, Jorge. How are you?
Hi, you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. And I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. I had to read the question again because I misunderstood the first time. I thought it was something along the lines of place that you chose to live forever. But to answer the question, 1 month feels a little bit too short for me. But if I had to answer, it would be my hometown. I know it's sad, but I've been there for a month or so and I easily get bored. That may be a too strong word, but it's true. So I'm gonna give you a rambunctious answer. I'm gonna twist the table, if you will, and I'm gonna give you a place that I would like to live for a long time, for permanently, if possible. And that place has to include three non-negotiable ingredients. One is have some type of artists that specialize in anime, Japanese anime in particular. I am obsessed with that to the point that I've decided that my lifetime goal is going to be mastering Japanese. It's also going to have some heat. So I'm thinking something along the lines of California. I am from Ecuador, next to the Amazonian jungle, and here the winter is challenging for me, but I still embrace it and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. And the third key factor, is something to the sense of New York City, right? Here, the people, the variety of people that you can meet, you can see rapid change, technology, growth. You can develop relationships with whoever you want, and that makes it, amazing. So if there's a city or place that has these three ingredients, I would move there tomorrow if possible. Thank you.
I really hope that you get to find a city that meets all three of your criterias, and I hope it's everything that you want it to be. We're going to have to figure out and see who can help you find that one city or country. And if anybody has a suggestion, you should just drop it in the comment box or in the chat box. And next up, we have Sean. Hi, Sean.
I am here.
Great. All right. So, table topic is if you could live in another city or country for 1 month, where would you go and why?
Yeah, so this is actually a question that I've given some thought to previously, and the country that I would probably like to visit for a second time. I was there for the first time in 2016, which is Japan, and there were two other speakers, I believe Jorge and Rob, who also brought up that same country. But when I was there for the first time, I was only there for 12 days, but then in those 12 days I ended up going to 10 different cities. And then within a very short period of time, I just fell in love with the city. It's a country that's all about peace and quiet. It's a home of Zen. It's a country that really takes pride in its food, and it's a country that's very welcoming to outsiders, even though their economy was closed off to the rest of the world for a very long time. So I think that was pretty cool. And if things go according to plan, I'm hoping to retire early. And I've lived here in NYC since I was born. But I think once I'm ready to hang it up, Japan is a place that I would like to live full time. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. I think Japan is on everybody's list. It's just one of those cities where you can go and be so mesmerized by everything. So I completely understand that. Thank you. And last but not least, we have D. Hi. I think you're still on mute. Oh, there you go.
Yes, I did.
Hi, how are
Thank
you?
Oh, blessed and highly favored, just like you and everybody else.
Good, good. All right, and I will let you take it away for the table topic.
Are you going to repeat the question?
Yes. The question is, if you could go to a city or country for 1 month, where would you go and why?
If I could go to a city or country for 1 month, I know exactly where I want to go. I want to go to Brazil. And the city I know in Brazil that I'd like to be in probably is somewhere in Bahia, probably Salvador. Brazil is one place that I know I had a previous lifetime. No question in my mind. I know how to do past life regression, by the way. I may have mentioned that. And I have done it for many friends. It's really entertaining. However, I don't want to do it for myself. I want somebody to be there with me, guiding me through this past life and saying, wake up when it's time. In past life regression, by the way, you don't get hypnotized. You simply remember things that happen. And I really want so much to remember, but I'm afraid. Something that happened there was not okay. So yet the city I would stay in for a month. Maybe by the end of the month, I'd have lost my fear of this. Maybe I'd have discovered what it was that I've been fleeing so long. But it was also beautiful, that I know. And that's where I want to go. Try it one day. Bahia. And think of Portugal.
Thank you. I think you need to go to Brazil at this point so that you can figure out what happened and overcome that.
I certainly do, and I will. And I invite you to look at Black Orpheus, anybody who has not seen it, and you'll see why it is that I really need to go there.
Yeah, that's great. And we have one more. The last one, I think, is going to be Teju.
Yes.
Hi, are
Okay.
you there? Teju, are you there? I don't know if you're on mute.
May have lost her. I have
All
her
right.
camera up. She comes back, maybe we'll get her on. Thank you for that, Bhavika. It was a great job. I think we just lost Teju, unfortunately. Oh, well, next time. But let's also give Bhavika a round of applause for her great job on table topics. And with that being said, it's time for everybody to vote on their favorite table topic. Sean, would you mind putting the link in the chat for everybody to do a vote, and also to give Bhavika her feedback as table topic master as well? That'll be in the link. With that said, it's time to go into our roles for the evening. And as I said, Rob is doing double duty for us tonight. So let's get Rob on the screen for us to do our roles. Timer and Grammarian. Let me find Rob. There he is. So Rob, do you have our timer report?
I do. Hi, everyone. Great speeches. I felt like I took a wonderful trip around the world just now, so I needed that. It's been too much quarantine. So for the timer, Linda, you had 4 minutes and 40 seconds for your speech, and Alex, for the evaluation, had 3 minutes and 5 seconds. For my table topic, I wasn't looking at the timer, but I put 2 down there. Alex, you had 1 minute and 55 seconds. Linda, you had 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Eula, you had 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Asantie, you had 2 minutes. And I may be off with you, Asantie. I was so excited about your speech that I lost track of the time. Jorge, you had 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Sean, 1 minute and 50 seconds. Dulce, 1 minute and 50 seconds. And for Grammarian report, you know, I think, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the best grammarian, to be honest. I get so excited about all the wonderful speeches, and everyone's has had such wonderful table topics tonight, and Linda's speech was fantastic, and Alex, as always, was great. So I just get in this state of inspiration, and I think I only zoom in on and the word of the day. So, and I may have even missed the word of the day, so I apologize if I didn't catch that for some other people. But Linda, you had 5 and 1 so, and you said the word of the day during your speech. Alex had 2 so's, and I think I had 35 and probably a few so's, maybe 26 you knows, 10 likes, and I did say the word of the day, so yay! Alex is so good at saying the word of the day. He probably said it more than I caught, but I definitely heard it in his table topic. Linda, on her table topic, had 4 or I think maybe 1 and 3 Eula had 3. I didn't hear anything with Asantie. The word of the day. Jorge, I caught 1 you know, and you also used word of the day. And Sean, I heard 1 so and you know, and I apologize if anyone else used the word of the day and I didn't catch it, but that's my grammarian report. Back to you, Henry.
Thanks for that, Rob, and I appreciate you doing double duty on that as well. So that's it for our show tonight. What I wanted to do real quickly, though, is to, there we go. Again, thank everybody for coming. We are, as I said, in this new phase of New Voice Live, transitioning to some new curriculum and some fun things we're going to do. If anybody wants to stick around to hear about that, feel free to stick around for after hours. But the place that we're in now is where we're trying to build an audience. And it's difficult because we've got two things working here. One is because we've been at it for a while, this feels like it's old hat. It feels like we're all in the same place every week, particularly with pandemic world, where you don't feel progress as quickly as you once did. But that's why I'm here to every week kind of sit back and judge, would I watch everyone here without knowing that they were friends of mine? And this week, I got to tell you, it was probably the best week that we've had. There were some graphic errors that was on me, but for the most part, it was really tight. The speeches were great. And if you're really out there to talk about why people should come, this is it. I think that if you all take a look back on your videos from, call it a dozen shows ago versus today, it's going to be night and day. And that's the hard part about where we're at. Because we're so used to it now, we don't see all the little progress, all the little gains we're making, but I assure you that we are, that you guys are getting better. I know I'm getting better, and so that's the commitment. Keep coming back every week, even though it feels like it's hard. Let's keep on doing it, and that's how we'll build the audience. So I want to thank you for that. I want to give you guys big props for the progress that's being made. Next week is open house. Again, bring a friend, fill out the toast form, and give your friends a toast, and then that's how I think we're going to get our folks to come and check us out, is making them feel good about being toasted. So if anybody's got any questions for us, let us know in the after hours, but we'll wrap up the show. See you in 2 weeks. And one other thing, keep on checking the live support channel. That's where we're going to be letting you guys know what's going on between meetings, and in particular with this open house. Let us know if you're planning on bringing folks, and stay in touch via the support channel as well. Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. Stick around for after hours if you have any questions about our upcoming meetings and the future direction of New Voice Live. We'll see you next week.